Happy 316, y'all. I had to drop a video today because when I think of 316, not only do I think of John 316, for God so loved the world that he gave his one and only son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. But I also think of Austin 316. Stone Cold Steve Austin isn't just a wrestler. He's a living legend. He was the face of one of the most popular and beloved times in wrestling, the Attitude Era, played a huge role in my childhood, and like D-Generation X, he was a big reason why I ended up in the principal's office a lot when I was in school. He changed the game forever. He made it cool to hate your boss and rebel against authority. He was a legit badass. He's in my top 5 favorite wrestlers of all time, and I wanted to dedicate a video to him. Even if you didn't watch wrestling, if you seen somebody wearing an Austin 316 t-shirt, just know that they on demon time. What? I said they on demon time. And when you heard that glass break, you instantly thought of Stone Cold Steve Austin. And he gave us so many unforgettable moments. So hello YouTube, this is Armashadamas, you can call me Armani, and I'm back with my 5th video, and as you can see by the title, today I'm going to rank my top 5 favorite Stone Cold Steve Austin moments. This one was tough because he has so many epic moments, so pull up a chair, grab some snacks, maybe even an ice cold beer. I don't drink beer, but we got to do one for my dog Stone Cold, and enjoy. And psst. Like the video and hit subscribe before I open up a can of whoop ass on your ass. Just kidding, but nah, for real. Like the video and hit subscribe. I'm trying to grow as a channel. I also make basketball content along with wrestling, which are my 2 biggest passions. Just wanted to share my stories with y'all. Alright, I'm talking too much. Let's start the video. But first, give me a hell yeah. Number 5, the birth of Austin 316. This is the moment that changed the wrestling world forever. And honestly, this promo gave me the inspiration to make this video. Leading up to the 96 King of the Ring tournament, Austin wasn't the focal point at all. He was fighting his way through the mid-card as the $1 Million champion. He was managed by the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, working under the ringmaster gimmick. But soon after DiBiase was forced to leave the company, this left Austin to fend for himself. At this event, Austin fought his way through the tournament, even getting a cut on his lip, which required 16 stitches after a match with Mark Miro, handing Miro his first loss in the process. Despite that, Austin powered through, and in the final round, he was able to defeat a wounded Jake the Snake Roberts, who had been attacked by Vader earlier, to be crowned the new King of the Ring. But it's not what Austin did in the ring that birthed the legend. It was this moment. After winning, Stone Cold Steve Austin cut a promo on Jake the Snake that will go down in history. You see, Jake Roberts will often reference John 316 in his promos, tying it to his Christian persona. Austin, being the master heel, took that and flipped it, and he absolutely tore into a beating down Jake the Snake in the process. The now iconic line, Austin 316 says I just whip your ass, became a defining catchphrase that launched the Austin 316 era. It was the start of Stone Cold's meteoric rise, giving birth to one of the most popular wrestling t-shirts of all time, and setting the stage for his legendary run. Number 4, Austin's confrontation with Iron Mike Tyson. By this point, Stone Cold Steve Austin had a rocket ship strapped to his back and to the moon. He was on his way to the top and nothing could stop him. Austin had just won the Royal Rumble for the 2nd year in a row, earning the chance to face Shawn Michaels, the WWF champion, at WrestleMania 14. Meanwhile, Shawn Michaels retained the title at the Royal Rumble, defeating The Undertaker in a casket match with the help of his little brother, with the baddest man on the planet, Iron Mike Tyson, in attendance. The next night on Raw, Vince McMahon announced that Mike Tyson would be the special guest enforcer for the Austin Michaels match at WrestleMania. Vince hyped up Tyson as the baddest man on the planet, but you know who the world's toughest son of a bitch is? That's right, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And there was no way Austin was going to let that shit fly. Austin came to the ring, talked trash to Tyson, even threatening that he was going to whip his ass. In classic Stone Cold fashion, Austin told Tyson that if he didn't understand what he was saying, Austin knew sign language, and then he gave Austin the middle finger. 2 of them at that. Tyson pushed back, and imagine if Tyson swung. Oh my goodness. This story would have been told very differently. But after he pushed Austin, all hell started to break loose. The two were pulled apart, with JR going crazy on commentary and Vince McMahon yelling at Austin, claiming that he ruined it. But nah, Austin didn't ruin nothing. He made Vince mad bread with this. It's all about the money. It's all about the money. This moment was a huge staple of the Attitude Era. bringing mainstream attention to the WWF like never before. And let's not forget, before this, the last time the public has seen Tyson, he had been disqualified in a fight against Evander Holyfield for biting both ears off, and he was revoked of his boxing license. Yeah, Tyson was out here biting ears, y'all. But here he was, standing face to face with the biggest star in the WWF at the time, if not all time. At WrestleMania 14, Austin would go on to defeat Shawn Michaels to win the WWF Championship. And in one of the most unforgettable twists, Tyson would knock out Shawn Michaels to close the show. You also had JR on commentary yelling that the Austin era has begun. But this moment showed that Austin didn't give a fuck who you were, and he was willing to show he wasn't to be fucked with as well. Number 3, Austin and Booker T brawl in the supermarket. After the invasion storyline was over, Stone Cold Steve Austin began feuding with Booker T after Booker cost Austin the WWF Championship in a match against Chris Jericho at Vengeance. On the December 13th, 2001 episode of SmackDown, a segment aired showing Booker T in a grocery store opening a cereal without paying for it when he sees some bald white guy and immediately attacked him thinking it was Stone Cold Steve Austin, but clearly it wasn't. Austin snuck up behind Book, cracked open a can of beer, and just by the sound it shocked Book. Then Austin opened a can of whoop ass on his ass. Anything he could get his hands on, ketchup, mustard, flour, just throwing him all over the supermarket. Book thought he was able to get away from Austin locking him up in the freezer, but nah, Austin wasn't done. Book, you wasn't getting away that easy. Austin then continued the assault, even rolling Book around in a shopping cart, which was absolutely hilarious. As sirens blared in the distance, Austin got his last hit in, shouting, "Price check on a jackass." This segment isn't just one of my favorite Stone Cold moments, but one of my all-time favorite moments in wrestling history. The fact that it didn't happen in the ring showed the versatility between the two. This shit was cinema. Plus, learning that this brawl cost WWF almost $15,000 in the supermarket damages, that shit is wild. Number 2, Austin versus Bret Hart, WrestleMania 13. Now, there was 3 moments in Austin's career, in my opinion, that legitimized him being the toughest bitch ever. His encounter with the baddest man on the planet, Mike Tyson, like I explained earlier, suffering a pile driver at the hands of Owen Hart, breaking his neck in the process, and still finishing the match. And this moment. As a kid growing up, I used to see this clip in all the WrestleMania video packages they would air, and having a lot of time on my hands during COVID, I went way back and watched the lead up to this match. And if you haven't watched this match, please do. Well, after you finish watching this video, but this match is a classic. Top 5 Mania match for sure. The storytelling, the drama.
This is real, brother. This is wrestling.
During the 9/7 Royal Rumble, Austin was originally eliminated by Bret Hart, but the refs did not see it. He used this as an opportunity to sneak back into the ring and eliminate Bret, winning the match. Austin, along with Bret, Vader, and was involved in the Four Corners elimination match at the In Your House 13 for the vacant WWF title. Yeah, that same WWF title that was dropped by Shawn Michaels, claiming that he lost his smile. But psst, here's a secret. He didn't want to drop that title to Bret. But anyway, in the Four Corners match, Bret Hart will win the match and lose it to Psycho Sid the next night on Raw due to interference from Stone Cold. The two will face off at WrestleMania 13 in a submission match with Ken Shamrock as a special guest ref. And let me add real quick, Austin was a heel going into this match. Keep that in mind and write that down. During the match, Austin was busted open and bled profusely, but while lying in the pool of his own blood, he refused to tap out when Bret locked in the sharpshooter. This image, the Crimson Mask, as JR would like to say, is legendary. JR even said it on commentary that Bret has beaten every superstar with this move. Since Austin was unresponsive, Shamrock had no choice but to end the match, awarding the victory to Bret. However, Bret continued the assault, even attempting to lock in the sharpshooter once again. This led to a rare double turn where Bret was booed for his actions, while Austin gained respect for walking out on his own power, even giving a stunner to referee Mike Chioda in the process while he was hobbling on one leg. This moment solidified Austin as a badass who did not give up and was truly one tough bitch. The double turn remains one of the rarest occurrences in wrestling history. Number 1. Austin saves Team WWF. 2001 was a wild year for Stone Cold Steve Austin. In January, he won the Royal Rumble for a record-setting 3rd time, Then he ended his red-hot feud with
The game.
Triple H in an absolutely epic 3 stages of hell match at No Way Out. But he wasn't done. At WrestleMania 17, he went head-to-head with one of his all-time rivals, The Rock, in the all-time classic, winning the WWF Championship, and in the process, he shocked the world by turning heel and aligning himself with the devil. I mean, Vince McMahon in his hometown. But the fans were not ready for this. Then, just when you thought it couldn't get any crazier, Austin teamed up with the biggest heel in the company,
The game.
Triple H, to form the two-man power trip. And sidebar, this was tough looking back at it. Triple H became the Intercontinental Champion. Together, they became the Tag Team Champions, being Undertaker and Kane. They was giving everyone hell. Look at what they did to the Hardy Boys and Lita. But that run ended when Triple H tore his quad. But Austin, he kept rolling with Vince by his side. Meanwhile, WWF had just bought WCW, and soon the infamous invasion angle took over. WCW and ECW joined forces, led by Shane and Stephanie McMahon, to wage war on the WWF. But something was off with Austin. Instead of being a beer-drinking, ass-kicking rattlesnake, he was acting soft. Hugging Vince McMahon, seeking his approval like he wasn't trying to rip his head off for the past couple of years. Vince kept begging for the old Stone Cold to come back and lead Team WWF against the Alliance at the Invasion pay-per-view.
1 week later.
And then came Monday Night Raw. During a tag match, Undertaker and Kane versus Rhino and DDP, chaos erupted. The Alliance stormed the ring. Team WWF rushed in to help, but they were all getting their ass kicked. A massive brawl spilled out into the parking lot, and it was looking real bad for them. Then a pickup truck pulled up. Stone Cold stepped out and started to raise hell. One by one, he opened up a can of whoop ass on the Alliance on his way to the ring. The crowd was losing it, chanting his name, and then... I wish I don't get copyright on this. That pop was deafening. JR was losing his mind on commentary. Stone Cold, he's walking, he's talking. Austin stormed the ring, handing out stunners like Oprah was giving away gifts. You get a stunner, you get a stunner. Eventually, Team WWF would capitalize and started to clear the ring. And looking back at this shit reminded me of when Thor pulled up in Wakanda. I know every moment on his list showed why Austin was a badass, but this pushed the envelope. Undertaker, Kane, Chris Jericho, Kurt Angle, and the rest of Team WWF were all getting their asses kicked for it to be saved by Stone Cold Steve Austin. And that's all, y'all. Thanks for spending some time with me. If you made it to the end of this video, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop your top 5 favorite Stone Cold Steve Austin moments. Let's talk about it in the comments, and give me a hell yeah. Also, be sure to check out my most recent video where I rank 10 of the wildest and craziest shit that I've experienced in wrestling. Like I said, I also make basketball content on this channel, so check that out. I'll leave my most recent basketball video in the comments, or it'll probably show up here. And don't forget, I run a podcast with 3 of my homies where we talk about all things hoops. Check out the channel, and until then, y'all be good.
And that's the bottom line. What? Because Stone Cold said so.